Yo, it's E, and I'm here to say that functions are easy if you learn it this way. Follow me, and you will see the math is fun.
Well, of course it is.
Yo, it's E. No, none of that. What, man? Yes, you are clearly not able to handle this without any musical references whatsoever. So I took the liberty of doing this first one myself. We have a parabola here with the red dots right here representing the x-intercepts and the green dot down here representing the dot that we'll be using to solve. Periods is also mentioned, color-coded and all that. So, the basic formula we'll be using is f of x equals a, x plus p, x minus p. So, we have -1, 0, right here, and positive 3 with the sign switched, of course. Now, both of these zoomed up, they look like a linear plane, so it doesn't have any exponents, which means it has a multiplicity of 1. The -4 right here is because the it has a y-axis number of -4. Now we're going to be solving for a, so what I did was I put in the 1 because it's an x from that dot right here. 1 plus 1 and 1 minus 3 to get 2 and -2 respectively. You multiply those together to get -4, you end up with -4a, and you take care of it on either side to get +1 because the negatives cancel out and the 4's cancel out to get +1 equals a. So then you end up with the final equation of f of x equals 1, which is not necessary to put in there because it's just multiplying x plus 1 and x minus 3 to get voila. And yes, that is French, I apologize. Alright, we will be moving on to our second graph right here, which is our cubic graph because, oh wait, my apologies, that is the W1. Here is the cubic graph. Alright, so let us move on, shall we? So that is a +2 and a 0, 0 on the x-axis. So we will also, the purple dot up here will be representing the dot that we are not using. So that is -1 as the x and +3 as the y. So it would be 3 for the f of x equals a as the variable we are attempting to find, x, which is -1, plus -0, whatever you choose, it's a 0, so it doesn't really do much of anything. Now that is a stalemate right there, so that means that it's going to be cubed, and then over here we have our -1 minus 2, and that is more of a linear looking figure right there, so it's just going to be the understood 1. Now we have 3 equals a, -1 plus 0 is just -1, -1 times -1 is +1, and +1 times -1, to make it 3 times, is -1. And then we have -1 minus 2 to get -3, to the first power is just a -3. So then you multiply -1 times -3 to get +3a, divided by 3 on both sides to get 1 equals a. And then the finished product would be f of x equals 1. You don't have to put it in there because it's understood over here, like I said, and it would be x plus 0 cubed. Once again, that's also kind of optional because it's a 0, and then x minus 2. That is our final equation for our cubic graph. Now, last but not least, we have our quartic graph. Apologize for the vibrant colors that we have clashing right here. Plain sheet of paper. Our x-axes that we'll be using are -3, 0 and +2, 0, with a -1, -2 as our extra that we'll be using to solve, and yes, alright, so f of x, which is the y of that coordinate, which is -2, equals a, the variable we were trying to solve for, the x, which is -1, plus, because we're going to be doing the opposite of the 3, so +3, and that looks very, so we are going to end up using the 2, so 2 right here, and multiplied by the, oh, and if I didn't mention, I don't think I did, that this has a multiplicity of 3 because of the exponent up here. I did not mention that, my apologies. And the -1 because it's the x minus 2, and that is also parabola looking, so it's going to be an exponent of 2. So let's get that down. -2 equals a. -1 plus 3 is 2 to the second power, and -1 minus 2 is going to be -3 to the second power. So then we have -2 equals a. 2 to the second power, which is just 2 times 2, is 4. So times 4. And then -3 to the second power, which is -3 times -3, is +9. So then we have -2 equals 4 times 9, which is 36. 36, yes. 36a, and we divide by 36 on both sides to get x plus 3 squared and x minus 2 squared. And that is all. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Nobody needs to hear from you, E. Peace out, bro. Yes, peace out, I guess. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you learned something. Yeah, 'cause math is fun. Well, of course it is.